Welcome to Diversion Insights Quick Takes. I'm Terry Vidals, your host and founder of our Expert Solutions. Today we're talking about a must-do that doesn't require fancy diversion software. Conducting random audits, how to get started without advanced tools. If your facility doesn't have diversion analytics software, that doesn't mean you get a pass on auditing. In fact, manual random audits can uncover significant issues and set a strong foundation for your program. Let's break it down to practical ways to select who and what to audit in the next few minutes. You want to audit enough to deter potential diversion while focusing your limited time where it's most likely to matter. The good news? Your automated dispensing machine already holds a treasure trove of data. Dispense reports, waste logs, transaction histories. You can pull these manually or export to the spreadsheets. One very effective starting point is to pull dispense reports and look at who dispenses the most of high-risk medications, such as fentanyl, morphine, hydromorphone, oxycodone. But don't stop at the top name on the list. Always compare like nurses with like nurses. For example, it makes perfect sense that the nurse who dispenses the most fentanyl works in a procedural area. Well, auditing that person just because they're number one might not yield much if their usage aligns with their unit norms. So instead, look for outliers within similar roles or units. Ask yourself, is this the highest dispenser in a medical surgical unit, dispensing volumes that far exceed their peers? Or is this the top dispenser only slightly above colleagues in that same high-use area? If the numbers are close and consistent across the group, it may not be the best use of your time to dig deeper there. You can apply the same logic to waste amounts. Pull waste reports and set simple criteria. Who has unusually high waste volumes for a particular med or class? Who wastes inconsistently? Look for patterns that don't match expected clinical practice. Another easy red flag is odd patterns in cancel transactions, frequent cancels on high-risk meds, especially if clustered by the same user or during specific shifts. These are low-hanging fruit for manual review. Frequent cancels on non-controlled medications are very important. This is often a bigger concern than cancels on controlled substances themselves. Nurses may dispense a non-controlled med and then immediately cancel the transaction to make it look like the dispense never happened. They can then use that non-controlled med as a substitute, either when administering or when wasting, to falsify the waste of a controlled substance by swapping in the non-controlled. These patterns on non-controls can be subtle, but are frequently what tip off diversion activity during audits. There are many reports that can come out of your EHR, so consider looking at those. Can you run a report on failure to barcode scan? Compare non-controls with controls for that user to see if they're also not scanning non-controls, the same way they are not scanning controlled substances. If you can see your recorded time versus the actual charted administration time, do you notice any clusters at the end of the shift or somebody doing it regularly? If time is tight, and it usually is, consider focusing your audits narrowly at first. Pick one medication and look specifically for outliers during a defined period. Identify nurses whose numbers stand out compared to peers in similar roles or audits, and then audit those outliers, and then rotate to a different med in the next cycle. This keeps your workload manageable while still covering key areas over time. The point is, do something rather than nothing. When you're just beginning a monitoring program, even basic manual audits often reveal remarkable findings. Discrepancies in documentation, unexplained waste, or patterns that point to poor practice or potential diversion. I have seen this be very fruitful firsthand. Software certainly gives a broader, faster picture, but you can achieve meaningful results without it. Start small, document your selection criteria so audits stay defensible and consistent, and use what you find to educate staff and refine policies. Over time, these efforts build accountability, they deter risky behaviors, and they protect patients. That's today's quick take on conducting random audits without surveillance software. Thank you for listening.